Hello, met friends! Andang here for another episode of Bingo Boffin. When we last left off, we were getting ready to head into Moria, and well, now we'll find out if we actually are.
I had hoped we would not need to follow the Longbeards into Moria.
Yeah, if only we hadn't followed the Longbeards into Moria, man, that would be way better.
I had hoped we would not need to follow the Longbeards into Moria.
I may not be a dourhand any longer, but the old remnants are not so easily swept away. Well, if they do not greet me with steel, I will repay them with kindness, and not in kind. During our time here, I have learned that the Iron Garrison traveled southeast to the ruins of Ekadonan, outside the Holden Gate. You should speak to the dwarves there and see if they have gained access to Khazad-dûm. If they have already done so, or once they do, I will meet up with you inside the entrance to the great dwarf kingdom. Into the long dark. Alright, talk to Spalvey in Durin's Threshold in the Great Delving in Moria. Since we already have finished the Volume 2 introduction, we should be good to go, and let's see where we are. Alright, we need to go all the way down to Ekadanan, which we can hopefully do here.
Greetings to you.
Alright, you know what? We're gonna swift travel. We're not gonna go to Spalvey and spending the same cost to Mithril, because that would be too easy, but we're going to swift travel on down there. And I'm excited. We're actually going into Moria to look for Bingo Boffin. It will be interesting to see where we end up going. Clearly we are not going to be doing the same thing as Bilbo, but Moria is pretty stinking close. It's just a giant cave network. It'll be interesting to see if we meet a character similar to some of the characters Bilbo met there. Right, and yes, the default movement mode is running because that's how most games work. Alright, come on. Let's make our way on into Moria. Into the gate. Alright, I always hated how you have to literally spend, I don't know, it's probably like 2 minutes every time you want to go into Moria if you've not made it to the 21st Hall yet. Because if you get to the 21st Hall, you can just go to Rivendell and then that'll take you into 21st Hall. But very annoying that they don't let you just ride into Moria from out here. I feel like that would be kind of an obvious improvement when they revamped Moria a while back, but they didn't, and I kind of wish they had. So it will be interesting if we see Bingo. I don't expect... Part of me expects him to be like right there at the gate, happy to see us, and the other part of me expects him to be somewhere deep inside Moria. Honestly, I think deep inside Moria at this point is probably more likely, especially since it wouldn't make much sense for him to be right inside, because he would have been there in Volume 2 when we went through that, and he's not. Unless they revamped Volume 2 to work in Bingo, in which case that's a whole other level of weirdness, but it'll be interesting to see what happens. Alright, and we're on Thule, our goat that you get in Moria as the free goat. Not the most fitting for a hobbit, but you know, it works. Alright, here we are up to the lake where the Watcher resides. Or used to reside. The Black Fool indeed. And so we are going into the long dark. That makes me... I mean, obviously that's Moria, but who knows, it might have another meaning inside it as well. And I'm surprised that they haven't, at least as far as I can tell, haven't done any revamp to this area out here. Because they have revamped several places in LOTRO. But apparently this is not one of them. Right, and here we are at the Black Pool. And And I don't remember the gate being this far in, but apparently it is. Alright, and if we close the door... Don't have permission to do that. Sorry, Mr. Dwarf. No worries. Right? You are friends with a dour hand. We will not have that here. The dwarves of Moria do not condone friendship with a dour hand.
The sight of these steps takes my breath away.
I cannot believe I stand here, Lengsong, at the foot of the great steps within Khazad-dûm. The sight, it takes my breath away. Spalvy's good eye is bright with wonder. Skolgrim spoke of reclaiming the glory of the dwarves, but he always said it was the elves that took it from us. I see now that our glory was not truly taken away, and that it was merely lost for a time. It remained here beneath the mountains for us to find once again. I cannot thank you and Bingo enough for crossing my path. Dengsong, or I would never have seen these halls. Let us find our lost friend. The dwarves here speak of a mapmaker called Ketil, who works out of a place called Dolvin View, to the east. He will know the ins and outs of exploring Khazad-dûm, but probably not as much as the players with 5 or 6 alts.
The House of Durin will live
Let's
forever!
head on over to Dolvin View, and it is a long way over to Dolvin View, so let's see here. We should have sold off stuff in my inventory. I don't think you can use this. Or maybe we can. Nope. Can't. It gets your hopes up. It's like, oh, you can totally do this, and then it says nope. And apparently you can't do that either. Well, that's just a ton of fun. You can't do anything on a mount. Lame. Except for maybe get run speed boosts. No, can't even do that. Alright, and this mount is running into things. It's not very good. Alright. But anyway, let's go ahead and go on to Dolvin View. Alright, well I didn't see Bingo on the way. Whoa! Oh yeah, this is another person, but man, he is cool looking. He's got maps in his hat. That is crazy. And it feathers right with too. That's like his pocket is on his hat.
You're interested in my maps? Perfect! Perfect!
Yes? You are interested in my maps? Perfect, perfect! It is always a pleasure to meet a fellow enthusiast. There is a great deal of craft involved with drawing accurate maps, and you would be surprised how few folk truly appreciate the effort. Just between you and me, I think the rest of the Iron Garrison would care more about my maps if I included the locations of precious veins of ore deposit on them. But those would be out of place on these maps. Perhaps I would make a second set of maps later on. But for now, these maps are purely for rooms and chambers, and tunnels and caves. As a maker of maps, it is important to know your focus and keep it narrow. I am focused on making maps, and therefore I am less capable in combat. Would you help me defeat enemies at the next location I need to map? While you fight, I will draw, and in that way we will be a great help to each other. Gazatomir is to the east of here. You decide to keep your eyes peeled for Bingo while you help Kettle. Alright, well I guess we're going to go to the east of here. I do like being in Moria again. It has been a long time. I mean, I've been doing Bingo leveling stuff, but have not really been in Moria too much. So it is nice to be drawn back into here because of Bingo Boffin. And I do not know the most direct way over there, but we're going to find it gradually over time. Alright. Stay away from those filthy goblins. I don't want to go there. Okay, defeat foes in Gazamar until Kettle is done working on his map. Alright, here we go. Okay, we should be in Gazamar now. At the very least, it's a bit more XP, so you know that's always good, right? Right, they're just riding on through. What do they know that I don't? That's what I wonder. Looks like the map thinks that it's to the south, which is interesting. Hey, there we go. To chapter 1. Alright. Okay, now it wants us to go all over the place, and we're out of the area for the actual quest. Let's get that out of here. But I don't feel like that we've actually been doing... See, here we go. Gazatamar. How are we supposed to know when he's done? This is a weird quest. Oh, hello, other player. Okay. Looks like we're out of enemies, kind of. Because, yeah, they are not part of Gazadamar. Or are they? Okay, let's talk to Kettle. Hey, buddy, nice, dangerous spot to be in.
Thank you very much, my helpful friend.
I am sorry it took a while, but making a map takes time, and if you rush it, you'll ruin it. The next location I was hoping to finish mapping is a library to the northeast of here called Katub Zahar. Will you fight the enemies we find within while I work? You decide to keep your eyes peeled for bingo while you help Kettle again. Alright, well, we get to go even further through the orc-infested camp. Yeah. Thanks, Kettle. But who knows, maybe Kettle will accidentally possibly lead us right to bingo. Alright. Let's see if we can remember where this library is. Guessing up this way. Got credit. Did not for that one. All cleared out down here. What level is this person anyway? 100, of course. Alright. Okay. Alright, looks like we're good to go here again. But we'd better finish off that guy. There we go.
All right. Now you can tell me what you seek.
Finished. Thank you for your help. Now that I have some time to think, why don't you tell me what it is you are seeking within these halls? You tell Kettle an abbreviated version of the adventure that results in your separation from Bingo. The dwarf thinks for a moment. It is not out of the question to believe that he might have fallen into an underground river and been swept into Khazad-dûm, Deng Song. Unlikely, perhaps, but it sounds as if this fellow might rather be unlikely himself. I will continue to study the maps I have available and let you know if I uncover any possible hiding places for this hobbit of yours, my friend. It is the least I can do. You decide to return to Spalvey and Dolven View all the way back over there and see what he has learned. Well, hopefully he's learned more than he has the entire Bingo Boffin storyline. That is my hope. Alright, and yeah, we still got mail from somebody or other. Okay, so let's go back to Dolven View. Alright.
We have made a good start, my friend.
We have made a good start of it, my friend. Kettle Mapmaker may come up with some idea of places we can search for Bingo, and I will make good the wrong I caused when I was a Dourhand. I am certain it is close. William Whisker did not stay here in Dolven View for long. He too is searching for Bingo. I know we will find our missing hobbit, and I trust that it will be soon. Alright, so he thinks it will be soon. Let's hope that he is right. But that is the end of this week's episode of Bingo Boffin. When we return, next week is called William Takes the Lead. So that is exciting. Recommended level 53. Okay, well, anyway, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you again real soon for another episode of Bingo Boffin in a week. But till then, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you again real soon for more content. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, feel free to hit the like button below, and if you'd like to see more of my daily content, feel free to subscribe, and you'll be notified when that new content comes out. And also, if you'd like to help support my channel, and help me continue to create high quality videos, feel free to support me on Patreon, and you can get all sorts of great rewards in the process. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you again real soon for another video.